Mike Moore Media.
It's our monthly program from Rockingham Community College. And today the focus is on the Associate in Fine Arts program at RCC. Two guests on our line, and that is Phil Haralam, Assistant Professor and AFA Program Coordinator, and Kirsten Sadler, who is in the art, member of the art faculty there. Phil and Kirsten, hello, how are you?
Doing well, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Hello.
Yep, glad to have you on the program here too. My son many years ago went through the that same program there at RCC, so I've got some good memories of that for sure. But we'll talk about that. But first, what inspired you to become an artist?
So I actually started school off as a pre-dental major. And I took one biology class, and I was like, this is not for me. And I called my dad in a panic, and he was like, well, what do you actually want to do? And I said, I just want to paint. I want to create. And he's like, well, do that. And so that's what I did. I've always been like a maker and a doodler, and that's something that I've always had a need to do, was to create. And so I decided to jump in full force and do it the rest of my life.
Oh, that's great. And you knew that all along, but that one biology course pushed you over the line.
Yes, definitely did.
Okay. All right. Phil, what about you?
Yeah, and I had maybe a similar experience where I know Kirsten was also grew up around art, and that was something that was important to her family, and same with mine. And so I went to college initially as a business management major, and it took one studio art class my freshman year to just flip that on its head, and I realized, hey, I can do this as a career. I can pursue this professionally, and so I just knew that following my heart and following my passion, and that was it for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And isn't that kind of the story for all of us, success in life, pretty much, to do what we love to do?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes getting up and going to work today, every day, a joy for sure.
It certainly does. Yeah. So, where did you go to school? And tell us about how those programs helped you to get where you are today.
Yeah, so I got my Bachelor's of Art at Marshall University in West Virginia. I got my Master's of Art History from George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia. And I got my Master's of Fine Arts in Painting and Drawing from Radford University in Virginia. I've always loved art history, so I think that's always kind of directed me a little bit. So I like the fact that I got my art history master's as well as my master's in studio art. So I think that program probably influenced most of my professional work, my art history master's, than anything, because my personal work is kind of deep-rooted in art historical theology and kind of, viewing and the way that we experience art.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I received my Bachelor of Fine Arts at Guilford College in Greensboro, and then 6 years later went back and got my Master's of Fine Arts at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. And I think the duality of those two experiences, going to a small liberal arts college for my undergrad and then going to a large university for a graduate program, I think really gave me a broad perspective of approaches to work and the different kinds of communities that can be created around art. And I think that community building and that interaction with people personally, but then also with my work, I think that's one of the biggest takeaways, and I think one of the biggest motivators that I embrace in working, as a working artist and making work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, just hearing a little bit about your background and what brought you to where you are today, RCC is very fortunate to have both of you there on staff for sure. What is the Associate in Fine Arts program?
The Associate of Fine Arts program is essentially the first 2 years of a professional fine arts program. So we are a transfer program where upon completing our, the coursework here at RCC, our students are trained and prepared to transfer to a 4-year university or college to complete their Bachelor of Fine Arts, or if they choose to enter the workplace and work as a studio artist, a potter, a painter, or in the nonprofit sector, they have the foundation of skills required to do any of those jobs.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What courses are offered in the Associate in Fine Arts program?
Yeah, so I'll first mention our 2D courses because that's my realm, and then Phil will talk about the 3D courses. But
Okay.
I teach drawing 1, drawing 2, figure drawing, painting 1, painting 2, portrait painting, landscape painting, watercolor, and then we also offer art history, survey 1, survey 2, and then art appreciation.
And obviously not all at the same time.
Okay. All right.
So we're Kirsten's a talented teacher and artist, but that's maybe above the call. But so then we also offer the our art appreciation for our majors, but also art that's for non-majors, and 2D design, 3D design, and 4 levels of ceramics. So those are the studio art classes that students can mix and match to create their focus and their personal path. But we also offer a portfolio resume class, which is basically a professional practices. So where we focus on the skills and of interacting with galleries, putting together your resume, how to be basically a professional artist in the field. So we do try to cover the technical, the conceptual, but also the practical.
And it sounds like you're really covering a lot there at Rockingham Community College for sure. How long does it take to complete the program, and what can students do after the program there?
Yeah, so it takes usually 2 years to finish the program. So it's the first 2 years, as Phil mentioned earlier, to prepare them to get either transfer or go into the field. And then after they complete the program, most of our students will transfer into one of the 4-year institutions, but some of them choose to go out in the field and kind of study how to be a professional artist.
So yeah, there's two students right now that I was just talking to yesterday who are pursuing a career as a studio potter. So they're working towards building studios and pursuing that as their full-time careers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah. Can you maybe share with us a favorite project from one of your courses?
Yeah, so for drawing 1 and 2, usually for their final project, I like to do a project that kind of pushes their creativity just a little bit more. So one of my favorite ones to assign, I call it running on empty. So every student is given one kind of Bic ballpoint pen, the same one from a pack, and then they have to draw with it until it's out of ink. So it's really interesting to see how they take that approach, because some of them will choose, like black things out with color or color block, and other ones will decide to kind of scribble the ink and kind of make a more organic drawing. So I think I always get a range of assignments and finished projects, and it makes it's easy to kind of see their different creativity come out with that assignment.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Oh.
Yeah. And Phil?
And so a project that we just completed recently in my 3-dimensional design class is a hand project. And so basically we work on some technical design aspects like proportion and scale. And so that's the main focus as far as the design, where they have to build a hand proportionally, but increase it as 1.5 times. But the really interesting thing is that I give this as a group project, so the class gets to decide the content, the subject, and what they're trying to express. And so we choose a word that each student has to basically create. Their hand is signing a letter in the American Sign Language, and so that letter then combines with the other hand to create a word, and they create a narrative that they want to express. So we're talking about visual language and how sign language is a silent visual language. So we're talking about different ways of communicating through art and through narrative. And so this is one thing that they really embrace and have a fun time with, because then it culminates in an exhibition on campus. So they get to see this process from idea all the way to showing work. And so I think that we try to really incorporate that kind of arc or trajectory in our coursework.
Mm-hmm. Sure, I understand. There's so many ways for students to get involved in things there on campus at RCC. I know you both are advisors for the art club. Tell us about that.
So we have a very active club here on campus, and we take trips to museums. We create projects together, and I think it allows us to build community and create relationships, not with us, not just us directly with the students, but also with them, with each other. That's outside the academic environment, right? So we're doing projects that aren't for grade, but it's really about the passion and expression of looking and making art, and I think that's important. But probably the most important thing really is an opportunity for leadership, and it gives them a chance to really develop and organize and some of the skills needed to be an artist and an organizer in the field. So I think that's a really fun part of the curriculum.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are there art classes for students maybe not actually pursuing a degree?
Yeah, so we do offer continuous education classes at RCC. So you can do those usually each semester. And one popular one is our ceramics class.
So we offer that spring, summer, and fall, and it runs parallel with the semester calendar. And so that's where students get to work at their own pace without grade, but they do have a very high level of instruction, technical, conceptual, but you don't feel pushed to do anything beyond maybe your comfort zone. So it's a great way for students to have some cultural enrichment, or also an opportunity to build some professional skills if they think they might want to pursue that. So, so that's the main. I think we also have there's painting and some other mediums that are offered throughout the years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Where can we see examples of some of the artwork from your students?
So we just wrapped up our student art show. So on campus every semester, that's also another opportunity for students to learn the process of curating exhibitions, how to hang and develop work. But we're also archiving and showing work on the art club website, so RCC Art Club. And so each show we are putting that work up there so that future students or past students can keep an eye on what's happening in the program.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. Well, I've learned a lot here just listening to the both of you. We have just a couple of minutes left. Anything we need to wrap up with?
I think we are always open for conversation. So anybody interested in the program or just wants to check out what we're doing, they're welcome to visit our building, the Center for Creative Arts on campus, or they can give us an email or give us a call, and we're happy to show them around and show them what we do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree.
Wonderful. Art is everywhere, isn't it?
It really is.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for being there and your work at Rockingham Community College. Phil and Kirsten, good to talk to you. All the best.
Appreciate it, Mike. Yep, have a good one. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Have a good weekend.
You too.
All right, I wanted you to get an idea of the good things happening there in the Associate in Fine Arts program at Rockingham Community College. Phil Haralam, the assistant professor and program coordinator, and Kirsten Sadler, a member of the art faculty there at RCC. And I said going into that our son Scott went through that, graduated from that program at RCC some years back. And I appreciate Phil and Kirsten and their passion for what they're doing and sharing that with their students. And thank you for listening to this program from Rockingham Community College. You can get more information at rockinghamcc.edu.